Alright, let's get started on this nose. There's a lot of purple and pinks in here, so I am going to work with those colors, at least for the first couple of layers. Now, the first few layers, you definitely want to work with the abstract parts. And what I mean by that is the shading mostly and the color. So we're trying to also get the shape down a little bit more. But I'm definitely using a lot of colors that are similar to what was already in this drawing. You don't want to branch out too many different new colors. That way you stay nice and consistent. So I have started a Patreon. It's called Lauren Klein Studio as well. I'm going to go live there about once a week, doing a similar thing, but it's going to be mostly like Q&A type deals. So really where you can see like the direction of the sun's coming from this area on the left hand side. So that's what I am working with. Adding a little bit warm tones, more towards the left than the right. And then this area here, let's just go ahead and work on that some. Need some nice orange tones in there. And then a little bit of some red, more like burnt sienna, so it's a mix. It's kind of a brown red. But I'm using long strokes instead of short ones. And it kind of replicating like a fountain effect here. So that's the direction of where the fur really is. So if you want to get more helpful tips and tricks, you can join my Patreon at Lauren Klein Studio. It'll be in the description of this once I'm done with the live video. But I am posting almost on the daily. Just helpful tips and tricks and updates on my pictures and I see pictures on my drawings. Alright, I see some pink tones in here, so let's add some of that. Now that'll tone it down some, so we can always add more afterwards. I'm going to work a little outside of it too. That's some nice pink color. I mean, there's definitely a lot of purple up here, so let's just go ahead and start adding it. With the color pencils I'm using is Faber-Castell Polychromos and Caran d'Ache Luminance, which is a Swiss brand if you're not familiar with it. Very, very expensive. It's almost $5 a pencil. But I make them last as long as possible, so sometimes I can make one last a good 6 months if I'm careful. Alright, what do you think so far? Not a whole lot to it just yet. This takes a lot of patience to get anywhere. But I do think we're getting somewhere here. If you haven't noticed, I'm not using the black pencil just yet. I try to hold off on using black until closer towards the end. But with the nostrils, I might just go ahead and use black in there because it's really dark. But there's other colors that I'm seeing that I need to use. Like a nice pink tone. Oh yeah. No, it won't look that vibrant. It's just the first layer looks like that. Heck, I'm gonna apply it in the nose too, not just the nostrils. Alright, and then, so it's really dark down here, so I'm gonna go ahead and just work with, this is Dark Sepia by Faber-Castell Polychromos. I like using that as an alternative to black a lot of the time, and then I'll incorporate the black. Black is just very flattening, and it doesn't always work the way I want it to if I straight up just use black. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that word. I'm doing little circular motions too. That kind of creates a little bumps, or like that pattern that's on noses. So if you have any questions, let me know. I am on Patreon as well, so you can join me on there. It is Lauren Klein, K-L-I-N-E, Studio on Patreon. There's different tiers. You can just do one where you just follow, watch. I've got a lot of free content right now, but you can, what I'll do is on the first tier is I post like recent pictures and talk about like helpful tips and tricks and stuff. And then the second tier is all of that, but it also includes live Q&As. And live things like this too, where it's just helpful tips and tricks. I say that word a lot. I sound like a machine, just on repeat. But hey, that's just how you get your name out there, right? You repeat a lot of the same stuff. Alright, I'm going to add some yellow in there. I know these first couple of layers like painful because you really want to get something down, you know? It's just very abstract at this point. Once you get the details down, then you can kind of breathe a little bit more and be more satisfied. But until then, you're just like, okay, hurry up. Something like that. Some purple. I think we're going to bring back that pink. Some pink. Almost looks like a bruise. The things I think about. You ever get like, you just drive yourself crazy with your mental chatter? Like that's how I am whenever I'm just drawing and I'm like raw dogging it and I have nothing to listen to and there's no sound happening or nothing, and you're just like, okay, my thoughts are driving me crazy. It's just going from left to right, one thing after the other. So everybody that is joining in, this is just a cow, it's a Highland cow's nose, and I'm talking about how to draw it essentially, but just other things too, you know, where my thoughts are. But right now I'm using the Faber-Castell Polychromos color pencil to create darker features. And if you have questions, let me know. I think I'm going to add the white. Or just the light pink. Burnish this area. So burnishing is a method of creating a waxy coating over the top of some of these layers by using heavier pressure with a light pencil. Alright, well, that's it for now. Check me out on my Patreon. That's Lauren Klein Studio. And I'm going to head over there now.